Hey friends, it's Brittany with 4B Farms. I am finally back in the garden again. The weather is shaping up so much better than it has been. We've had so much rain lately and it's been a little windy, and so we haven't really been able to get back out there. If you can see, we have some new things in the garden that I want to catch all up on, and I just wanted to take y'all along today as I plant a few things out. Like I said, our temperatures, our weather is looking way better. We're getting into planting time. So today I am focusing on all of my beans. I have some lima beans, some French filet green beans, some Texas big boy peas that we've never planted before, and a few others, and I'm just going to be planting them, I believe, in this first bed that I have my spot picked out. I wanted to show y'all what my garden is going to look like this year. I have it all, it looks like chicken scratch, but I have it kind of organized and drawn out of where I want everything to plant, and I wanted to include y'all in that because this helps, for one, keep up with what I'm planting, so I don't have to put name tags on each individual plant because they're seeds and it takes some time to grow, so I will not know what is planted there for a while. So I have it all written down and drawn out, and I wanted to show y'all that too. So I don't have to write each individual little bitty name of every single thing. I just kind of number them and then reference back. I know a lot of other farmers or gardeners, they use nice paper. They use grid papers and graphs and everything, and that's a really good recommendation. I just personally have a notebook, and I just like to kind of hand draw it, and it doesn't really affect me that much. So this is just the way I enjoy doing it. So I am going to be planting these French filet. These are some Texas big boy beans, or peas they called them. I got them at our local co-op. This will be my second year of trying to grow them, and so hopefully we do better because we have not successfully grown them before. And then I also plan to plant out some lima beans. And I did just want to bring y'all around to show you in the beds and what they look like. We have been super busy these last few weekends when we were able to, when the weather cooperated, filling up our raised beds, and I'll show you. So these are our raised beds, and you can see over here we did fill the beds up at the bottom with as much brush as we can because we did not want to fill all 4-foot beds just full of topsoil or compost or our really nice good soil that is really expensive. So we tried to put as much as we could at the bottom, but over time with the weather, rain, everything, it does start to settle. And so we have we first put in maybe 3 or 4 loads, wheelbarrow full loads of wood chips in there first, and then we put it's called super soil here in Arkansas, we put our super soil on, and that's what we'll be planting on. So all the bottom will break down and it will make healthy soil over time, so we're not able to use it, but over time it will just break down. And so that's why we did the wood chips, because they're a little smaller than the big old logs that we've been using, and I really think that will help breaking it down. So like I said, today I'm going to be planting my beans. I have already kind of jumped the gun, and I'll flip. Okay, just to be real with y'all, I'm so excited to plant. The weather has just been terrible, and I've just been ready to get them in the ground or in the soil and out of the house because I've been bringing them in and out for weeks and weeks, it seems like, trying to get them sun and trying to get them used to as much sun as they will need once they are planted out. So 3 out of the 4 plants that I have already planted outside have done great. They didn't get any sun scald. They didn't get too cold at night. They were doing wonderful. I do, however, have one cucumber plant that did not look great. It was wilting. It looked very sad because it was just too hot for it right now, and it was getting too much sun and it wasn't used to it. And the only thing I can think of was for shade. It needs shade. So I got a solo cup that I had on hand, and I just cut it. I cut out the sides of it so you can see under here I can take it off really easily. So it's getting some shade, but you can see on the edges, it was definitely getting some sun scald and was looking really sad. So I do put the solo cup, I just cut the four little sides out, over it a little bit during the daytime, just to help with the sun, because it is a little smaller than these other ones, so it just wasn't handling the sun that great, but it will catch up and it will do just fine, just as long as I tried to keep it shaded a little bit so it can get big enough and do grow and be protected on its own. So far I just have I think it's a black beauty, zucchini, a crookneck squash, and 2 cucumber plants, but I did want to show you, this is another huge log that we put at the bottom. It did not settle at the bottom as well as I would like to, also over there, but that's okay. We can either take it out or just leave it there. It really is not in, I mean, it may take up an extra plant there, but it's not a big deal for us, so we just leave it. But you can see some sticks and stuff are still sticking up over there, but this is going to be our bean bed. And so what I have done is I have all of these markers along the side, and you can't really see the rows, but I have 3 rows, 1 down there, 1 in the middle, and then I'm starting my lima bean row right there. And I am not going to put every single marker in front of each plant. What I did is I put my markers down, I made my rows, and then I planted my beans directly in front. So there will be a bean there, there'll be a bean there, and a bean there. And the same thing, there'll be a bean there, 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 and so forth until the plants start coming up. Because once you cover them and water them, they're not there anymore. So I need a little, oh, there's a bee. I need a little help keeping them organized so they're not just all over the place. And like I said earlier, I did my French filet green beans, and then I did the Texas big boy peas or beans. I'm honestly not sure. I got them from our co-op, and so we'll just see how they go. And then my last one, I'm just gonna do the burpee, excuse me, the burpee lime bean, the Ford Hook 242. And I did not start any of these beans because they do, beans typically grow faster. Like these are 65 days to harvest. So since it's already past our last frost date, which was I think mid-April, but we do have some low 40s coming, and I'm a little cautious about that, but I think the beans won't mind it at all, since I'm just now planting them. If they were maybe little sprouts, I might be a little more worried because, you know, 40 is a little colder, but I think they'll be fine. So I'm just going to plant the seeds, the rest of these bean seeds out. And like I showed y'all, I just make the row. I do not make a deep row. I don't plan on covering them up just super heavily. Typically I follow the rule of planted about the same depth of the seed that you're planting. So beans are quite bigger than, you know, like lettuce seeds or carrot seeds. Those are itty bitty. So these do need to be covered, but they don't have to be super far down deep in the ground. Actually, I think this has about 1 inch depth. So it's about the same size as a lima bean. I'll show you. So it's about 1 inch, so that just put it in the ground and cover it up just a little bit, and then I will water them in really well because today and tomorrow we have pretty sunny days, and I do not want them to dry out because beans are a little harder of a seed and they definitely need moisture to get to sprout. So I don't want them to dry up today or tomorrow. And then the rest of the week looks like it should be cloudy, so I'm super excited about that. It will definitely give the cucumbers and squash and zucchini some break from the harsh sun. And I will also show you, because I have tons of tomato plants and peppers and all the things that I'm still trying to harden off, and I'll show you those in just a minute. But hardening off it, I have been struggling with it. But also my daughter wants to help plant some of these lima beans, and she wanted to give some information about the beans that we're planting.
And those are my favorite vegetables. Bye.
Okay, so she helped me plant my lima beans, and then I'm gonna come back in just a minute and water them. But I also wanted to show you all of my tomato plants and how they're hardening off and not doing so great. Okay, so I have planted several tomato plants. I have sold probably about 70 plants, and I started out with about 190. So we have tons of them, and I'm still gonna be selling them. I just haven't had time and things have come up, and I do plan on getting them selling a lot more, but I really am excited to get some of mine that I have specifically picked out for my garden. I'm ready to get them in the garden, but I want to show you what they are looking like and about how big they are. Okay, so these are the tomato plants right now. They're looking really well. I have these popsicle sticks in there to help me remember what they are. That is a pink brandywine. And these are 4-inch pots, and I feel like these have done so much better than the little tubs that are little pots that I've been using. They're about 2 inches by 2 inches. So these have definitely helped them grow taller, and they're doing fairly well. Some of them are having a hard time hardening off. You can see some of them have some sun scald, but like I said, we have tons of tomatoes. So I'm not scared. I won't have tomato plants or tomatoes this year, but so you can just see the weather's just been really difficult. It's been raining a lot, so it's just made it really hard to get them in and out since we don't have a greenhouse. Okay, speaking of greenhouses, you can see that we have been working on a cattle panel greenhouse, and I'll walk over there and kind of talk you through our plans and what we've been doing. Okay, so we have three cattle panels. They are 16 foot long. We built a base for the whole bottom, and then we just folded them over and attached it to the wood. We made a door frame, and then the back will have a back window. And we did have the plastic on, but we did not have the ends. Sorry, this is so hard to do. The ends where the door is and the window, we didn't have those covered with plastic when we had the plastic covered over the whole thing. And we've had some terrible winds and storms come through lately, so it did end up ripping, and at the bottom where we connected it, it did rip a little bit, so I was trying to take it all off, and that was a big old mess. So we haven't had time to actually put the plastic back on. My seedlings are doing really well. It is a pain to move them in and out of the house and not be able to use the the greenhouse, but I'm almost done with. So the wind has just been really hard to work with. So like I said, we're basically done with the seedlings, and it's kind of pointless for the purpose I was needing the greenhouse was for the seedlings. But I also, you know, as the summer goes, I can still plant all kinds of stuff in there once we get time and all of the material to make sure everything doesn't rip off or fly off or anything. So that was exciting for a little bit, because I thought I was gonna get to do my seeds and keep my tomatoes out there and be able to harden them off that way. But things just didn't work out. That's okay, that's what happens most of the time on our homestead, and we just keep chugging along. But hopefully we'll get that done soon. If y'all have any questions about, you know, our practice and what we've done with this and our go around with it, I'd be more than happy to help. It's not been the best, just because this was something new to us and we're still trying to learn everything, but we're definitely here to help if we can. So we don't get to use that right now, but we're getting stuff planted out. All of our seedlings are looking great, all of our tomatoes and peppers, and we have eggplants, and we have a lot going right now. But it's good and it's exciting, and it is time to get out and plant, and I hope you're out planting, and I hope you're enjoying this time of the year, growing and watching things and just taking care of all the fun things outside. But anyways, that is really all I have. I have a lot going on, and I'm kind of in a little bit of chaos, but we're making it happen. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions, please comment below. I'd love to help if I can. And we'll see you on the next one.